Hey, what's up guys? How's everybody doing? Tyler here with your movie fix, and today we're going to be doing another prediction video. I always have a ton of fun doing these. These are always really cool to explore. We're going to just do some predictions and speculation today on Suicide Squad. Now, I just want to do a small little disclaimer. I haven't gone out of my way to read any spoilers for the movie or people's reviews or what they've seen. I'm only going to be basing these predictions off of publicly released information. That's going to be trailers, teasers, and any and all clips that have been released. And now we're going to formulate what we know from all of that information. So if you don't want any spoilers, you may want to stray away from this, but if you don't mind, let's dive into it. So first up, I just want to start a little more broad, and I want to talk about the tone and the atmosphere of this film, and something that I want to see out of this. Now, we've all seen the trailers with Ballroom Blitz and Bohemian Rhapsody, and we know that there's going to be that really fun tone, and that's all going to be present. But something that I want to see there is the tone that was kind of created by that first Comic-Con sizzle reel that came out in, 2014 or 2015? The very first one that we got, that was shown at Comic-Con, that leaked. And I want to get that vibe. That had the more creepier, darker music and featured that I started a joke. I want to feel that, because I think we can get that great balance of the more fun elements, and we better be seeing the darker elements, because I still prefer that teaser trailer. While the other ones have all been great, the marketing for this movie has been spot on, I still get chills and I absolutely get so pumped watching that first teaser trailer that they released. So I want to see a balance between those two. Because if we're going to Arkham Asylum, that's where the Joker's from. We know that he's going to be torturing Harley. If we're going there, I don't want to see rock and roll. I want this to be dark, and I want it to be a little more sinister, and I want to see those elements have a nice balance between them. And if you listen to the soundtrack for the film, we know they're going to have all the fun moments, but the original score done by Stephen Price shows that we're probably going to get a little bit more of the darker elements, and that's what I want to see, a nice balance between the both, and not be afraid to stray away from the fact that these are villains, that some of these people may be bad, but some of them are downright evil. So that's what I want to see. And now we're going to be delving into some of the more details about some of the characters and some of the things that I want to see out of this story, and I wish I could start with something easy, like, I think Slipknot's going to be the one to die, or maybe he's going to be the 7th member of the Justice League. All jokes aside, we already know that he's going to die, so that's not a big deal. We've already gotten the clip released of Captain Boomerang trying to talk him into calling the bluff on Amanda Waller that we don't really have bombs in our necks. No, man, go for it. I don't have anything to outside this life, but you do. Why don't you go for that? So that's not a big deal. I think many of us knew that that was what's going to be happening with Slipknot. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to talk about that. But one of the things that I do want to discuss are Rick Flag and June Moon, who is Enchantress. I think that we can maybe get a little bit more of an exploration that there's going to be a relationship between them. In the first trailer, we got a little overview by Rick Flag talking to June Moon, saying that you're possessed by a witch. So this was a conversation of him telling her about the other members of the Suicide Squad. And certain versions of the plot summary of this film have said that Enchantress is the first target that Amanda Waller goes after. She's the big game. That's who she wants to join the Suicide Squad. So she's going to be a very pivotal character in this movie, probably more so than people think. And I think that she's going to be the key to the villain of this film. Now, I've been seeing people talk about Incubus being this villain, that's like the brother of Enchantress. I have done some research, and I didn't see anything about that. So I'm not going to call this villain as Incubus, but I'm going to say that whoever the villain is, whatever his name may be, this adversary, is going to be tied to Enchantress and wherever it is that she comes from, this dark dimension with demons and witches and stuff like that, because Incubus is a very generic name. It's the male equivalent of a succubus who tempts women into having sex with them, basically, is what it is. So whatever his name may be, I don't know, but I think that Enchantress is tied to him. If you look at this image here, we can see Enchantress has this kind of headdress with this eye on her. And we've also had brief images in the trailer of this guy who has the same kind of thing on him. He's real smoldering, and I think this is going to be our demon, whoever it is. And he's going to be our main bad guy. And there's going to be some cool moments, I think, between Rick Flag and Enchantress, and maybe he's going to be wanting to save June Moon from Enchantress throughout this film, and whatever her ties are, maybe he thinks that she's redeemable. But more importantly, what I want to talk about here is that I think with Enchantress and the opening up with this garbage ring in the sky, all of this magic, the demons, the witches, I think that Enchantress and the movie Suicide Squad in general are going to be a key to maybe getting a Justice League Dark movie. Now, we're getting Suicide Squad. We already had it as an animated movie that they released, Assault on Arkham. And now we know that they're doing a Justice League Dark movie that's going to be animated. I think that these are both kind of testing the waters for how audiences react to these weirder properties. And by all accounts, it looks like Suicide Squad is going to kill it. And I also think that with them releasing the animated movie of Justice League Dark, that Enchantress is going to be the one opening the door for the possibility of getting a movie with Deadman, Constantine, Zatanna, Swamp Thing. And if they're opening this door to the DC Magic Universe, I think Enchantress is going to be the key, so that's what I'm really hoping for. I'm not saying we're going to get an announcement the day after the movie comes out, but I think that the door is going to be opened with Enchantress. Now, you can't have a Suicide Squad prediction video without talking about Joker and Harley and their relationship, and what I think is going to be going down in this movie. Now, we know that the Joker and Harley are a thing, and most importantly, the Joker and Harley, what people know, the stigma between them, is that Harley Quinn is the Joker's girlfriend. That's what the public, that's what most people know. Not us comic book people, that we know that the Joker is a little more sadistic, he's abusive, he's controlling, he's possessive of Harley Quinn, and that's something that's present in the movies. But is that important that that aspect needs to be presented in the movie? Because in these trailers, we've gotten the vibe that he's going after her. She belongs to him, that they actually have a relationship. We've seen them kissing. So, and I think that's fine. And I'm totally open to the idea if they're going to go this route that the Joker and Harley are legitimately like in love. They're just these two psychopaths that really have a thing for each other and they work. But also, I like that we're going to be embracing the psychopath version of the Joker, as opposed to Jack Nicholson, who is more of the gangster version of the Joker. And even Heath Ledger, who is more of this anarchist. That's how he viewed the world. And I think Jared's Joker is really going to embrace the psychopath version of this character. But one thing that is present in Jack Nicholson's and Heath Ledger's, and I guarantee is going to be present in Jared Leto's Joker, and all forms of the Joker, above all, the Joker is a gentleman. And I think that's something that we're going to see with Harley Quinn. That's going to be a really present element, as well as those weird abusive elements to the relationship that make them work. And if they choose to embrace that in the film, that's fine. But I would like to see some of the elements of him being possessive, that Harley Quinn is his object. No one else can have her. She is mine. And I think there's going to be this big subplot going on with the Joker trying to get her. And she's actually working with him. We've gotten this little bit out of the trailer with her looking down at a text from the Joker saying he'll be there soon or whatever it was. So she's obviously working with him. And I think in the end of what's going on with the movie, much like Assault on Arkham, we could see her leaving the team, albeit maybe a little reluctantly, to leave Deadshot behind, to leave these other characters that she's maybe had a bond or she's just had fun with. She likes being around these other scumbags, but she is ultimately going to run away with the Joker. And I think that's going to be present. And also I want to talk about this little chase scene with Batman and Harley and Joker. Now we know that Common is going to be in the film as Monster T. We've seen the behind the scene images of them in the club. We know that they're leaving the club in their outfits that they were wearing. And I know a lot of people are trying to speculate that maybe he's the villain of the movie secretly, that the tattooed man who is Monster T. I don't think that's the case. I think he's just going to be killed by the Joker in a deal gone wrong, or he was always going to kill him, and I think that's what's going to lead Batman into going off on this chase with them and ultimately bring Harley into prison. We know that there's going to be a car chase that results in the Joker and Harley going into the water, and Batman comes out with Harley and arrests her and brings her to Arkham Asylum, and I think that's where the flashbacks are going to be taking place, with her being in Arkham, with her interviewing the Joker, having their issues unfold and seeing the origin of Harley Quinn with the torturing and the manipulation. So that's going to be really cool to see. And I know with Batman, we're going to be getting to see this darker take on him, much like Batman v Superman, with his introduction, with how the cops viewed him, with how normal people viewed him. It was this demon, he's the devil, he's up there, he saved us. And the way that the cops viewed Batman was almost they're scared of him. So we're going to see Batman operating in the shadows with the Suicide Squad and how villains view him. So that's going to be really interesting. And along with seeing Joker and Harley in prison, we know we're going to be going to Arkham Asylum. I think we have a chance at seeing some cameos from other Batman villains. You know, it's not so important that we know if any major actor is playing them. I just think it would be cool if we see hints that the Riddler or Clayface or Two-Face, that these other people are in Arkham Asylum. And I think we'll get glimpses, some little Easter eggs that these are other villains in the Batman world and Suicide Squad movie that are going to be in Arkham. Now, this is something that has actually just been confirmed like a day or two ago, and this was going to be a full-blown prediction of mine that I was going to have, but I still want to talk about it with Ezra Miller's Flash cameo in this movie. Now, he was listed on a cast list for the movie, but there's still evidence, I think, in the trailers to suggest this. We see this shot of Captain Boomerang being, basically thrown or carried or whatever is going on here with blue lightning behind him. And if you've seen the Justice League trailer, we know that this version of the Flash has a blue lightning around him as opposed to the TV and comic book counterpart who has the yellow. So I think this could be just a quick moment of levity to show that Captain Boomerang is getting taken to Bel Rev by the Flash, and I think that's going to be a really funny moment. And it's not going to be a big deal. It's going to be a pretty brief thing, because Captain Boomerang isn't a Batman villain. He's not in the Arkhamverse. He is 100% a Flash villain. He's one of the big rogues. And I can't wait to see Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang. I think he's going to be a surprise with how funny and really cool this character is, and really embracing that scumbaggery, and he's going to be a huge douchebag, and I can't fucking wait. And lastly, I want to talk about Diablo. And, you know, he's the kind of character that he's an archetype that maybe he's had this super dark past. You know, he's a villain. This is a guy who burned people alive, and he controls fire. That I think he could see the Suicide Squad as maybe a way to redeem himself. I think he's going to be more of the silent, strong type who's going to have these giant outbursts of anger. There's a lot built up in this guy, and Deadshot's obviously going to channel that really well. But I think with the conclusion of this movie, maybe we would be a little cheated if just Slipknot is the one to die. And I think that we could actually see Diablo maybe go out in a blaze of glory, kind of sacrificing himself to save everyone else in the Suicide Squad. And I just feel like he fits that archetype of the one to kind of stand up and be like, all right, I'm going to do this. No one else is capable. So I'm going to be the one that takes out all of the eyes of the adversary. I think there's going to be this really cool moment that goes on in the film, and he's going to be the one that makes the ultimate sacrifice to save everyone. So anyways, guys, those have been my predictions of the movie. Comment down below what you think we're going to be getting. What do you think about these predictions? And how do you want to see Joker and Harley's relationship portrayed on screen? What do you think about the villains and the possibility of opening up a Justice League Dark universe? Leave your thoughts down below. I'm really curious. I want to hear your predictions, and I want to discuss everything down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more predictions, editorials, breakdowns, and movie reviews. I'll see you guys on the next video. It's been a ton of fun.